Hello, everybody. I'm Saeed Attar, the director of the Smittcamp Family Honors College at Fresno State. And I'd like to welcome all of you to the Fireside Chats. This is a series that we've just started at the initiative and effort of Ashley Jacobsen, whom I will introduce to you in a few minutes. I have had the privilege of being the director for the past 7 years, since July of 2014. And we wanted to basically reach out to our alumni, whom we haven't heard for a long time, the new ones or the ones who graduated long ago. And the idea is that this is following our tradition of treating everybody as a family member. This is, after all, the Smittcamp Family Honors College. And by doing this, we want to be connected to our alumni and know what's happening in their lives and let them know what's happening in the college. And along with that, in a way, have everyone support our efforts in spreading the word about the Honors College. At this point, I'd like to introduce to you Ashley Jacobsen, who was a member of the first cohort in the Smittcamp Family Honors College, and we'll continue the conversation after that. Thank you.
Hi, this is Ashley Jacobsen with our first installment of Fireside Chats. And today I'm interviewing Dr. Saeed Attar in his role as the director of the Honors College. So welcome. Good morning, Dr. Attar.
Good morning, Ashley. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and so, we named this Fireside Chats in part because there's a strong sentiments towards the Camp Keola experience that the alum have experienced over the years, and also wanted to just really instill that we want this to be a conversation, an intimate conversation, where we learn more about the individuals, whether it be past alums or yourself, who continues to carry the torch and bring in new students to the Honors College. And we found that this video series would be a great way for us to connect with individuals. And so, Dr. Attar, we'll cover a few things today, but I was thinking it would be great to start first with the history of the Honors College and to share with community members, how did this get started? I was in the inaugural class of it, but, just for context of maybe people who aren't familiar with the history, if you could share a bit about how the Honors College came to be.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. So the Honors College, really the seed idea behind it was Dr. Robert Ware's idea. Dr. Robert Ware was a professor of theater and dance at Fresno State for nearly 30 years. And beginning in 95 or 96, he had an idea of starting an Honors College at Fresno State. And he shared the idea with the Fresno State president at that time, which was Dr. John Welty, and also with the provost at that time, who was Dr. Mike Ortiz. And so the idea was floating for a couple of years, as I understand it. And at the same time, Dr. Welty was good friends with the late Earl and Muriel Smittcamp, who are our benefactors. And the story goes that over a tennis match, the idea was born in a sense that the Earl and Muriel Smittcamp told Dr. Welty that they would like to make a big donation to Fresno State. They didn't know what it would go to, and Dr. Welty knew about the idea of an honors college. And Dr. Ortiz kind of got into the conversation. So it was a perfect storm, really, so to speak. The idea was there, the major donor was there with a good intention, and Dr. Welty, the president of Fresno State, was fully behind this idea. So that's how this came about. And in 1997, the donation was made. $1 million donation was made by the late Earl and Muriel Smittcamp. And in 1998, the Smittcamp Family Honors College was formally established. And there's also a story about why not just Smittcamp Honors College, why Smittcamp Family Honors College? That's because for both Earl and Muriel Smittcamp, family mattered a lot. It always did, and it always has, and we can still see that. So very strong family bonds. So they wanted to stress that this was a contribution, not just by the two of them, but from the entire family to Fresno State. And the family theme really got started from there, in my opinion, from just naming this college with the name family in it. So, and it has a family atmosphere where people are welcome, if you will. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later. So 1998 was established. Dr. Ware, whom we have come to know as the founding director, was there just for about a semester, as a matter of fact. And it happened that was his time to retire. So then in 1998, Fresno State looked for another director, and that was Dr. Stephen Rodemeyer, whom everyone, I believe, from your class remembers. Dr. Rodemeyer, we would like to recognize him as our inaugural director. So this was 1998. And Dr. Rodemeyer really was responsible for almost all the efforts that were required to start the Honors College at the very beginning. So that was 1998. And in 1999, the first class was admitted, and that's where you came in. And Dr. Rodemeyer was the director for 10 years, retired in 2009. And Dr. Nora Chapman was the next director, and she served from 2009 to 2014. She stepped down in 2014. She was planning to write a book, which she did. And that's where the opportunity arose for me. And I had been involved with Honors College. So that's the history of the directors of the Honors College. So I'm formally the fourth director of the Honors College.
Awesome. Yeah. And we appreciate your leadership as the Honors College continues. What number cohort just started this year?
So we've just admitted our 23rd cohort of 50 scholars. Starting with the first cohort in 1999, of course. So 23 cohorts so far.
Wonderful. And so, Dr. Attar, let's talk about what makes the Honors College unique. You touched on family as being a piece of that, but can you talk a little bit more about really what makes our Honors College at Fresno State?
So this Honors College is unique in the entire CSU system from a few angles. One of them is that this is a college and not a program. There are 18 out of the 23 campuses in the CSU system. 18 of them have some kind of honors program, but ours, Cal Poly Pomona's, and San Diego State's are the ones that are called colleges. And the difference between an honors college and an honors program is that an honors college has its own courses. We have our own courses. You've taken our courses. These honors courses are designed with specific learning objectives, and they normally invite the best professors to teach them, of course, but only the students in the honors college can take these courses. It's not open to non-honors students. Whereas in an honors program, which is the majority of the CSU programs, they basically put together existing courses from different departments to make a kind of an upper division GE honors program. That's what most of the honors program are like. So that's one thing. Another unique feature is that we admit 50 students in a cohort, okay? And because we have our own classes from the get-go, and we have residence halls where about 2/3 of our students live, our students get to know each other in classrooms, in residence halls, and the other activities that they have. So, and that has unique benefits for our scholars. And I think you can speak to some of those unique benefits in terms of friendships and sometimes lifetime friendships. And I think that's part of the family aspect of this, that friendships and relationships, close relationships, are just as important as the education that our scholars receive. And I happen to completely believe that. So that's another unique aspect. The third unique aspect is that our honors college is the only one that provides a full ride scholarship once you're admitted. No other program does that. It's very competitive to be admitted to some of these programs, of course, but you, at best, if you have financial need, you will receive some kind of financial aid or scholarship maybe. But ours is the only one where we commit to 8 semesters of undergraduate studies when you're admitted, regardless of your financial need, regardless of anything. It's a merit-based scholarship, and that's how early middle Smittcamp wanted it to be. They wanted this to stay a merit-based scholarship, and that's what has been happening. So those are the unique features. One other thing that we've started since 2016 with the entering class of 2012, we now require a scholarly creative activity from each of our scholars who wishes to graduate with university honors through us. And that could be done through a variety of ways, but all of our scholars will graduate with some kind of research or creative activity experience. And that can only help them in whatever it is they want to do afterwards. So I'd say those are the unique features of our program.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I think, as you touched on the scholarship piece, I think that's really valuable to a lot of students, especially with, getting your undergraduate degree can sometimes come with a big price tag associated with it. So to not have that financial burden placed on the individual or the family is a really big asset. And I know that the Honors College, while, benefiting greatly from the Smittcamp family, has also benefited from other donors who have created endowments and other scholarship programs that help to fund that scholarship that the students receive, and allows them to, have that 8 semesters of tuition-free academics. So it's a great program overall. I think early on for me, I probably focused more on the financial aspect when I was an actual student, but now looking back, I can see that, it really was having that small, intimate group of scholars where, we're challenging each other, encouraging each other, and just having each other to rely on. Especially, Fresno State is by and large a commuter campus. So for myself, I lived on campus the first 3 years. And, so I can speak to, or, firsthand, I know, all the benefits you spoke of. And in addition to, living on campus and being in the Honors College courses, I was also the student assistant. So working in, and I think that's something unique that maybe not everyone realizes, is that the Honors College has its own separate office with, a lounge area for students and a computer lab and, a meeting area. And so that just helps to really create that, cohesiveness amongst the cohorts as they're going through the program.
I think the word is what you just said. Cohesiveness is the word. Having the same view and kind of connecting all the dots along the way. Like you said, friendships, classes together, advising, having an office where you can hang out and meet your classmates, your friends, having a helpful and supportive staff. And we've been lucky to have those with, of course, everyone remembers Lisa Hardiman, who is now retired. Has been retired for 2 years. Stephanie Roby is still with us. And we've just, hired a new staff, Rebecca El-Bandari. So and we always look for those features in the staff members that we hire. So, and even student assistants. You were a student assistant, like you said, in the office. We always look for the same kind of character traits, if you will. Someone who's receptive, someone who is willing to help, to keep that same cohesiveness, as you said.
Yeah, because I think, college can be a really challenging time, disruption, in terms of lots of different aspects of life. So to have that support group, that location, you can go to, and that there will be a familiar face. I don't think that can really be understated. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead.
So Dr. Attar, let's talk a little bit more about you. You're a chemistry professor.
Yeah.
So can you share a little bit about your background?
Sure, of course. So I'm still a chemistry professor, by the way. I'm still a member of the faculty in chemistry department. I attend their meetings. I'm in a way borrowed to do this. This is my 23rd year in this campus, and it's been just a fantastic experience for me. I feel very lucky to have been able to do all the things that I've been able to do. So I was the faculty. I came in 2000, and that's where I met Dr. Rodemeyer, by the way, the late Dr. Rodemeyer, and we quickly connected. He and I shared the same overall view about how life is. And of course, I'm lucky to also call him one of my best friends. So he was a best friend and a colleague. And in many ways, kind of like a big brother I never had. I can share that with you. So I'm very lucky to have known him. And he, in 2004, he actually invited me to be an application reader. That's how I became involved with this honors college. So back in 2000 or 2001, he invited me to become an application reader, just like we do now with, faculty members, staff, and students. And I said, well, I've never done it. Sure, I'll try it. And right away, I was just impressed with the quality of applicants that apply to the college. So that's something I did for a long time, just as a reader. And then in 2004, he invited me to teach an honors GE class in chemistry, which was chemistry and society. That was an existing course, but I came in and kind of added my own version of it and taught it for a few years. And that's how I became even more involved with the Honors College in terms of being a faculty, honors faculty, and continued to be a reader and an evaluator. That's how I met the staff also, Lisa and Stephanie. So I've been involved in one way or another for just as long as I've been on this campus. And that's why when the opportunity came up in in the spring of 2014, because that's when Dr. Chapman had announced that she would step down, I really jumped at it. I thought this was a great opportunity for me. Also at the time, I was chairing the chemistry department for 4 years. I was the chair when I applied for this position. I felt it was a very good fit for me because I've always enjoyed working with students. I've always been around students. And I was very impressed with the Honors College. And I felt that I could continue the mission of the Honors College. That's why I applied for it. And the rest is history, as they say.
Right. So what has surprised you the most during your tenure as the Honors College director?
Two things. First of all, I did not know myself that the scholarship package that's put together, I always thought, like most people do in the community, and community at large, or even alumni, I always thought that all of the financial needs of this honors college in terms of scholarships comes from what the Smittcamp family donates. That was a kind of an eye opener for me to learn that actually that was not the case. So I really came to appreciate all of the donors, other donors that we don't even hear about, to be honest with you, small and large. For example, I came to know about the Wherein family, who at the time had donated something like $500,000, for example, to the President's Honors Scholarship Fund, where the scholarship comes from. And there are many other ones. And then when I became the director, I got to see the donors list. So that was one eye opener. I learned that. Another thing was about our own scholars. I thought that this was my impression, having read the applications for so many years and being so impressed with the quality of them. I thought that the students, the scholars that come here, really don't need that much advising or mentorship. And I was I was wrong about that. So they're fantastic students. They're very good. They're ambitious. They keep me on my toes, which is great. I learned from them a lot. But I feel that many times they do need the direction. They do need the advice. They do need some kind of mentorship. And I think the role of the director here is, like you said again, we go back to the word you use, is try to keep it cohesive, if you will. Try to connect all the dots and kind of bring it to the fore for the scholars. So that's something I learned, I didn't know. And I keep learning every day. I keep learning from our scholars every single day. And that's why I really feel lucky to be doing what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. And I feel that I'm making a positive difference, however small. It doesn't matter how small or big it is. The point is that at the end of the day, you say, okay, this was a good day. I made a difference in at least one person's life, and that's good enough for me. That's the reason I applied for this job. That's the reason I'm here.
Yeah, no, that's, there's so many things there, right? Where, as far as needing advice, I feel like oftentimes for those who are ambitious, once you get to college and you really get to charter your own path, really freely, then it can be very overwhelming. And so to have the guidance of people like you, and then also for me personally, I found that being a President Scholar gave me access to a lot more people. I did attend different kind of community-facing events because the President's Office wanted President Scholars to, be in attendance, whether it was for, different fundraising events or, and, we'd assist with, name tags and different things, volunteer hours as well. But, I did find that people were always eager to help in the community. I remember, randomly sitting next to the superintendent of Fresno County Schools and told him I was an accounting student. And he was like, you should really look into school finance. And he gave me the name of the person who's in charge of that department. And it led to an internship. And so, it's mentorship, not only from people like you, but and on campus, but even people in the community. Because I think that what people recognize is that when you're a President Scholar, you have high potential. Yes. And so they really want to give you every opportunity possible, in order to retain your talent here in the Valley.
Yes. And on that point, the path for our more recent scholars has been paved by alumni like you. You've paved the path in all areas. We have scholars who are now in mid-career in whatever it is they do, and they become mentors. As a matter of fact, one reason that when you brought up the idea of doing these videos and connecting to our alumni, is really to connect our alumni with our current scholars. And I've been doing that by inviting you yourself. I've been to our honors colloquium. One main reason behind it is to for our current scholars to kind of look at our alumni as role models, if you will, or even get their help, get tips, get guidance. And to me, that's part of the cohesiveness that I go back to what you said. That's really a good big word that just basically covers everything that we do from the start, from the recruitment to admission to advising while people are here, and then even later on. It's all part of the same plan to help people succeed. And that could only be good for our immediate community here and for society at large, if you will, because each person is like a link in a chain, right? That's how I look at it. Talking about cohesiveness. Mm-hmm. That's how I look at it. So yeah, that's mentorship inside and outside the Honors College is very important. And one of the things I really enjoy doing is to connect our scholars not only with alumni like yourself, but also to other mentors and faculty members on campus, even off campus, because I know how valuable those encounters could be, those conversations could be.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I think it helps just to get a glimpse into what our individual futures might look like. And, yes. And that's not to say it's going to be a straight upward trajectory. No. Life always has bumps in the road and roadblocks. Yes. But, to have those options a bit more visible is really important, I think, for our young people as they navigate and decide who they want to be when they grow up. And I think you and I can attest to, you don't ever really figure that out. It's a constant trial and error and
the process.
Yeah. So, which is part of the fun of life. So
evolving process.
Yeah. So Dr. Attar, can you share how being the director of the Honors College and your involvement in general over the last 20 years has, impacted who you are as a person?
Wow, that's a very good question and a tough question. It's helped me. Well, it's made me a better person. Let's put it that way. I think in the same way, and I will make an analogy to raising kids. So I'm a parent. I'm a father of two young women. They're now women, two daughters. And as much as they look up to me as a parent, I also learn from them every single day. So in a way, the scholars here are not my kids, but they're like my kids in a way. They're younger than me, and it's a two-way relationship. So, and I think that relationship makes both people better people, just put it simply. So that's and I'm, in a way, I'm in touch through being around so many young people, both at home and here. It puts me in touch with a younger generation that otherwise I wouldn't be able to. One of the unique things about the director's position is that you are an administrator. That's true, because you're connected with the president and the faculty and all of that. But at the same time, you're not just an administrator, because you're connected to the students. And I think I value that a lot. So overall, I think it's made me a better person. A short answer to your question.
Oh, that's great. So Dr. Attar, I don't have any further questions for you. I don't know if you have any closing comments you'd like to make.
I'd like to thank everybody, all of our alumni again, for staying connected with us. And for those who haven't, as they say, it's never too late. I hope that we hear from you. I'm hoping that we will be able to have a reunion after the pandemic is over. Maybe not June of 22, but maybe June of 23. We'll see. We'll see. We had our last reunion in 2019. So, and I hope that everyone will stay connected. Will email me or go on Facebook or any means that's convenient for them. And I hope that they will be involved with our current students. That's one of my biggest hopes, because they're the best role models for our current scholars.
Absolutely. And we'll be sure, I think there's going to be a newsletter coming out where we'll also share opportunities of ways that alums can connect and stay connected.
That's going to come up very soon, within the next few weeks. That's a new effort that I've started here, and we're going to have a couple of those a year. So, and also visit our Facebook. There are always updates there about our new scholars. We're also going to start a new blog, and we'll let everyone know.
Yeah, no, that's great. So thank you, Dr. Attar. Appreciate you taking some time this morning to share perspective on the Honors College itself. And as we kick off additional fireside chats to share with the alums about, what we're all doing now. And if anyone has suggestions for individuals who should be, interviewed and featured in the future, please let Dr. Attar or myself know, and we'll be sure to get them in the queue. So thank you.
Ashley. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye.